Wow, I repositioned myself way off. Hello. How's it been? Jesus, I didn't realize how much I moved my camera on myself. And why is this? Oh, hold on one second. I fixed it. It's so weird, like learning everything that I've learned so far about streaming and all that. Just video management in general and stuff. Um, I find it strange to realize how much I had no idea, no idea about lighting and like I'm not a photographer. I know that, you know what I mean? But like just to how much effort it goes into like getting things set up and like, it's not just like a hop on and stream type of thing. Like for some people it is, depending on what you're doing, right? But it's not just like a hop on and stream and get going. And I'm just like, wow, dude. You know, I give creators and I give like show hosts and things like that a lot of credit. Especially if it's something that you do as a part-time thing, or you do it, you don't make money on it, or you're not, you don't have very many resources such as I think it's very cool. Also, this is not a silver shirt. They see if we can. Oh, the shade's not going away. That's pretty funny. It's actually yellow. This is yellow. This is no silver. It's not reflective at all. So I don't know why it's doing that like that. It's doing something weird off of the green screen where it's coming out this kind of cool reflective silver. It's doing it on my sleeves too. That's pretty cool. Um, so sorry for just jumping right in and not really waiting for anybody, but I have very limited time today. I have been horrible at getting things together for the show. I've been very bad at just things lately. And I know over the past few months it's been very scattered and very like, there's been a lot of difficult things going on. And I just wanted to say that that's going to be fixed very shortly. It's going to be fixed. It's going to be taken care of, and it's something that I'm working very hard on. I do believe that as of this week, I have a schedule. So what I'm going to do is kind of ride this week out, see how it goes, and I'll start posting about it next week maybe. And also I'm deciding to not, as of right now, do my late night streams. And the only reason for that is that with my schedule every day, I have less than zero time. I have less than zero time. Excuse me. And it's starting to really impact my sleep, my ability to function the next day. And I think that's kind of the routine that I've gotten myself in. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm hiccuping. I didn't even eat anything. It's starting to really impact my routine and my health and wellness in the way of sleep and patience and just a lot of things going on. So I have to respect, my personal situation, regardless of how much I want to get on and stream certain times and do what I got to do. Right now, it's just not a possibility. And maybe that'll change one day in the future. Maybe I'll get more opportunities to stream when I ideally would like to. But the main focus of this, of my streaming, my channel, is going to be more of the talk show related stuff. I think that's where my power lies. I think that's where my best ability comes from in doing what I wanted as a goal for this channel, which is like helping you guys out, helping people out, talking to people, and just reaching out and associating with people. And I love playing video games, and I don't think there's anything wrong with playing video games at all, and I absolutely adore it, and it's one of the best things I love to do. But that's not the focus of the channel, and I want that to be very well known. And I apologize for anybody who might have joined me in my past couple of months who have gotten that. But, I feel like it's a very important for me, and it's very important for the channel itself to grow and evolve the way I envision it. I feel like I need to make that known that this will not be like a mainly gaming channel. And that's going to go for the YouTube. That's going to go for the Twitch and wherever else I decide to start streaming to, because I would like to expand my base, as well. It's kind of easier to do because I'm not partnered, or I'm not, affiliated or whatever. But that would be nice one day, and I would love that. It's just not happening yet. When that does happen, if ever, I would love to make this my full-time situation, or, at least, make it possible to expand on it and do more with it. But as of right now, I have to kind of work with what my situation gives me, Yeah, so with that being said, I'm going to aim for 9:30 to 11:20 every day. Every weekday, I should say. I was originally going to try to get on Saturdays now that I have most Saturdays freed up. But I am taking it back on that, and there might be like a random Saturday every once in a while that I do decide to stream. But like I said, being that's the only day where my kids don't have anything going on, I get to spend all the time I want with them. I'm going to take advantage, and we've been having a lot of fun the last couple of days. I've been making it a point to go to the library with them because, one, the library's free. Two, the library has lots of cool programs and stuff like that kids really get into. And even if they don't, they usually run something like a scavenger hunt or something like that. The kids can use a computer there if they want. They have computers here, but sometimes it's just different. You know what I mean? Like the library has learning games and stuff, and we do here too. But it's good to get them out, and it's good to get them used to different environments. So I think that's really going to be an important drive in my weekend arrangements and things like that, and just go from there. And that's what I've been able to do without any stress points. I'm just going to get some music going. Oh, installing updates. Pretzel.rocks has emailed me and told me that they have new channels and they have a new record label and stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool. So, I'm interested to see what's going to come up. Let's go for Surprise Me. I hope this isn't going to... I want to see... I'll just let that ride and see what it brings. I wanted to see if it was going to be too loud. I feel like... Hold on. Yeah, we can have that going on in the background. That's pretty cool. We've been making it a point to go to the library, go to the park. It's wintertime, so any nice days that we have, we need to get out and do what we need to do. You know what I mean? Like, go out and play. Especially with the mask mandates, especially in the area that, my kids are growing up in, with school and everything else going on. Everything is so restricted that it's driving me crazy. And, I find it very unsettling with the amount of, people afraid to shake each other's hands, and people, I know everybody has their reasons, and I understand that. And I whatever you're comfortable with, I'm not here to push that. But, I feel like we need to bring humanism back to being humans. We need to be interactive creatures. We need to do what we can to facilitate a positive change for, going forward and getting over this pandemic stuff, getting over the mask stuff, and getting back to having our kids socialize and having our kids have fun and taking advantage of life situations that we weren't able to take advantage of a little while ago, And regardless of how you feel about vaccines or masks or anything like that, conspiracy or not or whatever, it doesn't bother me. You're welcome to talk about anything on this channel as long as you're respectful to everybody's views. Because I don't believe that this should be a place that we hold back from each other. I don't believe that this should be a place that we hold secrets at all from each other, or don't feel like it's a safe place. I want this to be a safe place for everybody to talk about what they believe in. So with that being said, I do require that you be respectful in my channel. But yeah, so, I do what I can to bring them out and to let them have fun and, play, get some exercise and just, my son was diagnosed with ADHD, and we're currently going through a lot of things with the school to get him the proper services that he needs and the things that he, that we think he requires and that we know he requires. It was an interesting meeting that we had with the school last week because we figured out that they dropped the ball on a lot of things. They dropped the ball on a lot of care for him. Sorry, just wanted to make sure that my microphone was loud enough. We noticed that they dropped the ball on a lot of things, and we noticed that they had not given him services that they promised that they were going to give him and things like that. So we decided, we had a meeting with them and we talked about a lot of this stuff, and we're getting a lot of good things accomplished for him. And yes, it's halfway through the school year, but we don't care. As soon as we can get things set in motion for him, we want to, right? So we got a lot of stuff taken care of, but a part of that also is, especially if you have something like ADHD, or you have something like autism spectrum disorder, or you have Asperger's syndrome, or you have whatever you have. It's always a good idea to go out and get exercise and go out and get some fresh air and have some fun. Even if it's just depression and you don't feel like it, go sit at a park or go sit along the water somewhere or something. Get out and enjoy fresh air, enjoy life, and see things that are going on. It's a different perspective from being inside all the time or talking to cameras all the time or whatever you're doing. And it's very, very important for your mental facilities in general to get this exposure to the outside and to like I said, really have a good time, And I've started taking advantage of that. We went out yesterday to the park, and it ended up being so cold. So cold. I think the real feel overnight in New York is -10 on average the last couple of days. Excuse me. And it felt pretty warm yesterday morning and even into the afternoon. And then when we got into after picking up my oldest son from school, we got right home and it was pretty warm. So I was like, do you have homework? And he said no. So I was like, all right, get your shoes on. We're going to the park, And it turned out that the second we got to the park, it was way too cold. I brought my resistance bands with me and I was ready to do a little workout, and it was just way too cold for any of that, for anything. We couldn't stand out there for more than a couple minutes. And I'm pretty tolerant of the cold. I'm very tolerant. But yeah, it was just, wow, cold. But Saturday we were actually, I don't know what that noise was. That was weird. I didn't bump anything to do with the microphone, so that's strange. I think it's yeah, that's what it was. I have a bottle on my floor that I bumped to the side, like a plastic bottle. We went to the park on Saturday. It was a park that has generally a ton of people. They were running around playing. They didn't really interact much with the other kids because, kids. And it was their first time that, they're actively at the park. I think our last time there was at this particular park, our last time there was 5 years ago when my son was just starting to walk. And, they had a really great time, and before that we went to the library and, we got a couple of books. I wasn't going to take out any books because I was tired and I was starting to feel it from, working so late and, just being tired in the morning. And I was like, no, I'm here. Let me take something out. You know what I mean? Let me find some stuff that I want. And just by chance, I found these two books. I haven't read this one yet. What Does It Mean to Be Human? A Reference for Life, reaffirmed by responses from around the world. Compiled and edited by Frederick Frank, Janice Rose, and Richard Connolly. And I'm pretty interested in it. I can't wait to read it. When is it due back by? I don't have the date in here. It's in the other one. But I've been preoccupied with reading and gathering information and just having so much of a good time. It's due back next month on the 12th. Plenty of time. And I've been really into this information, I've been an informational vacuum of just trying to fill my head with good things. And one thing I've accomplished is I've gotten pretty much completely away from social media. Unfortunately, social media is something I have a very hard time with because I find that I get stuck. I get so stuck. And I do it with YouTube too. And I try not to. I try to make an active thing of if I'm doing whatever, like relaxing or whatever, and I open my phone. The second I open my phone, I start questioning myself. I have to open my phone because it has a screen like that, but it also flips open like that. And it really comes in handy for drawing, writing, stuff like that. I have the pen to go with it, which is very cool. But I open my phone and I sit there looking at my phone and I'm like, what is the purpose of doing this right now? Do I, and I start asking, what do I want? Sorry, I was apparently watching a video. And I start asking, what do I want from this interaction? And that's when I pick. I choose, am I answering something real quick? Or am I just going to shut it and walk away? Am I going to play music? Am I intentionally watching a video? What am I watching? What's the content that I'm feeding myself? Because it's very important. There was one, I don't have his name. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but there's one, I think he's a psychologist, but I don't want to say 100% because I'm not sure. But it was a speaker with IIN. Let me just try to see if I can drive it. I might get a little, if I can find it, I might get a little distracted. It was a speaker for IIN, and he talked about consumption. And he talked about, did you like the three things that his mom used to remind him of whenever he used to tell her that he felt sick, and how he relates it to everything, which is cool. Just trying to look real quick. I don't remember what module it's in. There's so many. Audio. Here it is. I saved all the audio from all of my speeches or my talks or whatever. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Excuse me. Manage anger, launch a dream book, blah, 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 blah. It's a whole lot of stuff. The wellness zone. I think that was too early. Close. Binge eating, target market, all that stuff. Huh. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I think it was close to the last few. There's like over 200 audio things that I have saved. Unique perspective, partner practitioners. Was this it? We just listen in real quick.
I wrote a nice book on happiness through meditation, because that's why we're here. So you always want to...
No, that's not it. Okay, I don't know. I don't remember his name, but he was a psychologist, and he talked about this. He talked about feeling ill and what his mom's 3 checks were. He called them. The first check is, did you eat? And the second check was, did you poop? And the third check was, did you sleep? And he related this to everything in general. And he was like, these are the 3 checks when I fall out of balance with anything. These are the 3 checks that I always come back to, just like my mom used to say. So first of all, he said, did you eat? What did you consume? What did you eat? Did you eat at all? Did you consume something positive? Did you consume something that was fulfilling something in your life? Did you consume something that's going to be good for you or for somebody you know? Also, if you didn't eat, then why not? What is the quality of what you consumed if you consumed anything, right? 2 is, did you poop? So not only did you defecate, or did you have a bowel movement, or did you urinate, or did you do any of that bathroomy stuff, but also, did you get things out of you? Did you, what means did you have to evacuate any of the negativity in your body, or any of the excess energy? Or, did you work out, for example? Did you expend any sort of energy doing anything positive, And the third was, did you sleep? Did you get good rest? Did you get quality rest? Did you, get a moment of peace of mind, And so I really took myself away from social media for a while. And because I find that I get into this comparison cycle, and not even that, it's just, looking at, I feel like social media was built to be something so great and so positive, right? But it ended up being this thing where we're told what to do and what we want and what we need. And, it fills our minds with things that we didn't even think of in the first place, Tea. So thinking back to when I was a kid, I never had the pressure to have a nice computer, to have a game system, to have half the things that we have now that we don't need. I wasn't pressured for a lot because I didn't care. I went outside, I played, I had fun, I hung out with friends, and that's all I cared about. I didn't care. And pressure started setting in around high school, I guess, but not even that much, because I never cared about my clothes. I never cared about stuff like that. Whatever. And why? Most of the time, even if I was watching TV, I had it on in the background as background noise, and I was doing things on the computer, or I was playing a game, or I was playing with my toys, and I was very into playing with my toys. I went crazy. I would take spools of thread from my mom's room and tie them up all over my room, tie string everywhere, and that would be like zip lines, for my action figures to ride across, or something, trap set or something like that. And I had a blast. I would play for 2 or 3 solid hours on these episodes that I would play with my toys with or whatever. And I would go outside. I'd ride my bike. I'd climb mountains. I'd run up. I'd play at the rock quarry that we had by my house, and go sleigh riding down these huge hills and all this stuff. And time was not a factor. Until the sun went down, I was out playing, and that's what it was. And just growing up in the environment that I do now, there's a lot of pressure. Excuse me. I have this problem of sitting on my feet all the time, and as long as I sit Indian style, it doesn't or I don't know, crisscross, whatever you want to call it. As long as I sit like I am now, it doesn't bother my back or my legs or anything like that, but it seems to satiate my need to sit on my legs. But yeah, like I didn't care about anything. I cared about going out and playing, and that was it. And that was up until into my teen years, you know, even when I started caring about girls and like, you know, going to hang out and doing whatever I was doing and dating and whatever. I was always like, you know, hey, you want to come out and hang? I'm going to go to the clay pond. You want to come with? You know, like something like that. Like I'm going to go into the woods, you know, go and play. And, you know, it's just something that I started missing out on a lot as I grew older. Even in my college days, let's go for a drive, man. You know, let's go around. Let's hang out. Let's, you know, I don't want to stay inside. Let's go somewhere, you know? And, it wasn't until my previous marriage, when that started, when we started living together and I started working for a living and doing that kind of stuff. You know, I worked since I was 14 and I always seemed to have money to do what I cared to do. But I don't know, man, like relating all that to social media, I find that like, I don't want something until I see it, you know, and I see it on social media. And listen, whatever tips or tricks I find on social media, I can find more quality information by doing the research myself or by talking to a licensed professional or a certified professional to find the information myself, you know? And I'm not down talking or downplaying anybody that's an influencer or anything like that, because, hey, that'd be a cool job for me to have. I would love it. But, I find that social media can just be a very toxic environment for me, you know? Talking to these people who, like, my business has not been very successful. And it's a startup of my own personal business. So it's going to take a while. It's going to take a very long time to get it started and get it kicking, you know? And rather than accepting that as a failure and looking at these other people and being like, oh my God, they've made it and, you know, whatever, I just take myself away from that. And I'm like, good on them. But, you know, I also don't really care for social media. You know, I want to talk to people person to person. I want to have personal interactions with people. I don't want to just have 3 to 5 minute video clips or 10, 15 second video clips, you know. I want to have personal interactions. So I will sit in on like live videos, especially if it's with somebody that I respect a lot. Or I've been using or like I'll use like an app like Clubhouse. What is that? Wait, it's paint. Or I'll use like an app like Clubhouse. And even though it's filled with a lot of crap, like I find very specific environments to get involved with on there. There's a lot of good ADHD communities, brainstorming ADHD and every 50-minute check-ins and stuff like that. Very cool environments to be in. Low pressure. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but they're good welcoming environments. And so I found that very productive and very helpful. But one thing by myself, like taking myself away from the social media, I'm like, wow, I have more time for things that I actually care to do. You know, I have more time to sit and listen to music or sit and listen to an audiobook if I want. I have more time to read. I have more time to study. I have more time to like revisit my training and redo that stuff, you know? And I even have more time to play video games, you know? And it's very refreshing, you know? When somebody's like, oh, did you see that thing on TikTok? And I'm like, no, you know, and they show me on their phone, which is fine and cool. But you know, I don't feel the urge to have to check my notifications and to have to look at what, you know, is being fed to me, you know. I get very disgusted with these devices, and I understand the meaning behind them. And I understand the use behind them, but I think the use is being widely abused, you know. Like customizing content for somebody is great, but taking the initiative taking the stance that we don't know what we want and being able to, for example, anything I search on here, immediately goes into like Google's databanks or somebody else's databanks. And there's ways to turn off, your data, your search information, stuff like that. But if you're like a layman and you don't really know a lot of that stuff, even if you are, that your data is always susceptible in some sort of way, shape, or form. Whether it's by the blocking companies you use to keep your data private or whatever, there's always ways to gather somebody's information. The way that a lot of companies get around the data mining or whatever is that they just give you advertisements that are unrelated to you, and then after a while you're like, I don't want to see any of this crap, I'd rather just have it personalized to me. But the danger of that is that you get shoved and fed all these advertisements and all these, like, if God forbid I search for one thing about ADHD, like how does AD impact hormone development, then I get all these ads for hormone pills or for ADHD medications or for mental health apps or for anything like that, just because I was curious about something. Might be a one-off thing, and God forbid somebody's like tells me a joke or something, and like I didn't get like a reference to like some adult themed joke that they were talking about, which I usually do. I'm usually pretty good at those. But God forbid I don't get like an innuendo, or we were talking about Urban Dictionary phrases or something at work, and I Googled one because I was like, what the hell is that? Like, I've never heard of that, So I Googled it, and like, lo and behold, the next couple of days that I looked on Google, they were giving me stories related to this. And it was something disgusting that I didn't actually care to see. I just wanted to know what it was, because of my own curiosity. So stuff like that, it makes it a negative experience, And like, they ask you like, oh, was this ad helpful? Was this ad helpful? No, none of them really are, No ads are actually giving you the information that you deserve to have. No ads are actually fulfilling your needs. That only comes from doing hard research and from looking into things deeply and seeing what the best option or alternative is for you, And ads are also paid for too. Don't forget, a lot of ads are reinforced by money. So what you're seeing at the top of that list is a company that can pay for that advertisement. It's not the smaller companies that may know better and may have more quality information or support for you, but they're starting up, or they don't have the ability to pay for that ad because they're focused on other things, And I consider that a very toxic environment, and social media is very big on that. So what I've been doing is preoccupying my time with all these other things that I care about, And that's when I get free time. That doesn't often happen. I do wish I had an automatic arm, because I switch positions my whole show. And I'm always concerned about being like right here where you can hear me really good and clearly. And like, I don't want to step too far back, too far forward, or like feel like I'm blocking off my entire face. So I move this thing around constantly. But yeah, so back to the library thing. So I was at the library and I stumbled across this book, What Does It Mean to Be Human? And I also stumbled across this book, which was my first read that I started with. Practical Wisdom, The Right Way to Do the Right Thing by Barry Schwartz, author of The Paradox Choice, and Keith Sharp. And this has been a very interesting book so far. I'm talking about practical wisdom in the sense that, like, it told a story about how to step into other people's shoes and how to, in the moment, when it might be the most stressful, to see outside of yourself and go into another person's situation. It told about a janitor that was working at a hospital, and he cleaned this young boy's room who got into a very serious accident. I don't remember. I think it was a car accident. And, the father came and visited every single day and spent at least like 6 hours at the hospital. The boy was in really bad shape. I think the guy was like a teenager or whatever. He was driving the car. And, the dad came in one day and he, he saw the janitor walking past him, and he goes, "You didn't clean my boys' room yet." And the janitor in that moment stopped himself. He already cleaned the boys' room. He knew he did. And he thought to himself in that moment how it's not about him. And he thought to himself, he could have taken the stance that, no, I did clean your boys' room. You go check. I was just in there. Like, I cleaned it, And instead, what he did was he went in and he cleaned the boys' room again. And it sums it up quite well that, he put himself in this other person's shoes and was able to, see that the boy's father was in pain, and the boy's father was having a very hard time, and even I do this in my job, like we'll bring an animal in who's knocking on death's door, and it sounds easier to do than it is, but we'll bring an animal in that's knocking on death's door and in really bad shape, and we start CPR, and we, the owner's an asshole, and the owner is being very nasty and rude and whatever. And sure, there's some people who are just like that, but it's easy to take offense. I'm the one that's helping your dog. I'm the one that's bringing your dog in so that we can save its life. I'm the one that's doing this and that. But the thing is, in that situation, it's not about me. It's not about who I am. It's about the person and their dog, and that's the mindset that they're trying to put across in that particular story, is that this janitor had the ability to come out of to go out of himself and to truly empathize with the other party and say, this guy's coming from a place of pain, and what can I do in this moment is I can either support myself and justify things for myself, or I could give this guy comfort, and then it goes on later in the chapter to explain how there's a certain types of people, and there's people who do the job and get it done, and that's all they need to do. And then there's other people who do the job and they understand the job. They understand the assignment, to quote TikTok. Where it's not about doing the job. It's about, you're a janitor in a hospital to make a clean, safe, comfortable environment for everybody that's in the hospital, that's working and recovering. You have a far deeper job than, I don't want to compare it to like a janitor anywhere else, but it's a hospital, right? It's supposed to be super sanitary. It's supposed to be, a place where people can recover from anything and come back comfortably and be fully supported. And that even breaks down to the smallest roles, the plumbers that work there, the janitors that work there, anything that you could think of as, like, even the welcoming guards or whatever at the hospital, like whatever there is, every single person's role in that hospital, not just the doctors and the nurses, every single person's role is for the support and care of the people that are there, right? So, sorry, my nose is very dry. So he talks about that in this book, where, the guy understood the assignment. He understood what he was supposed to be doing, and how he could best do it in that moment was not to fight against the guy and justify himself for himself. Because, ultimately it's going to end up either the same way or bad. And what he did was he just said, he just turned around and he cleaned the guy's son's room, and he's like, this is being that this guy was in such a disoriented place of pain and discomfort and worry, my job was to comfort him in that moment. In that moment, that's what my purpose was, and he understood that. And I thought that was a beautiful thing. It's a place that like I said, I don't even know if I could come from that place, like I said, like carrying animals in, or in most of the emergency situations that I'm in, I have a very hard time not including myself in some aspect of that, and the only, it's just very difficult to take that stance on it and come from a place of like, I can do better. I can, you know, for this purpose, I can eliminate myself from the equation. You know, it's not even about doing better. It's about doing the right thing. So I really enjoyed this book. I liked it a lot. I am liking it. I'm still into it. I'm not that far in, as you can see. But, you know, whatever time I get, I've been feeding myself good information and good sources of things. And, you know, just getting outside perspectives. That's the point. That's the entire goal of everything that, you know, we do in life is if you live life in your own lane, in your own box, in your own mind all the time, you're never going to be happy. And it might seem like you would be happy, but that's just not going to happen. It's not. We are creatures that are built to interact with the environment around us. We're built to interact with other people. We're built to share experiences and knowledge. And I think we've come very far from that, but I think we're also so very close to getting back to that, you know? And I think that it's going to go one way or the other very soon. And I think it's definitely going the right way, but with the pandemic and stuff like that, it's just very hard. It's very hard to get back to where we think we should be, you know? I don't know how you guys feel, but so yeah, so some of the stuff, you know, I've been filling myself with a lot of that, and I've been working very hard to establish good positive relationships with my kids. And, you know, not that I didn't have it before, but there's always room for improvement, right? You know, especially when they need so much support and they need a lot of help, you know? And yeah, I don't remember where I was going before all of this started. Excuse me. Just trying to maintain a healthy balance in life. Establish and maintain something that I've been without for a while. And I think that this path that I'm on is what's going to enable me to be able to help other people do the same thing. And that's really my purpose in life, you know, is to help other people find balance. Oh, that's interesting. My wire, when my headphone wire, when it's on over my shirt, it looks kind of whitish. You don't really see the black. Is to help other people and to help people through challenges like mine, you know. Trying to think. And what I've been doing to help facilitate the channel growth is I'm planning more things. I have not scripts, but I have like conversations written out. I have podcast episodes written out because I plan on getting back to podcasting for my business very soon. And I plan on doing that live on here, and that being kind of the basis for my shows that I do on here. You know, obviously, conversation is very welcome, and I will never change that. You know, but this will give me more things to actually talk about and stay on point, and you know, hopefully bring entertainment value to the channel. You know, bring some sort of informational value. My tea today is partially ginger aid tea. It's for digestive health, but ginger has so many other beneficial properties to it. And organic throat coat, because if you don't hear it, my throat's not that choppy, but this has been a very tough year in my family for people with illnesses. For me personally, it's like a multi-angled issue. You know, having to do with my father-in-law, having to do with my kids, and having to do with stress, and having to do with diet and things like that. You know, and working out and doing, there's just a whole cluster. Like it would be an entire 2-hour episode just to describe everything, and how it contributes. But I've started feeling that again, you know, feeling a little chesty again. And so I just decided to have some of this stuff to, you know, help so that my throat doesn't get cut up, obviously. But it's got organic licorice root, organic slippery elm bark, organic licorice root, dry aqueous extract. I don't know what that is. Organic marshmallow root. Proprietary blend of organic proprietary blend. It drives me crazy when they don't say what the proprietary blend is. Organic wild cherry bark, organic fennel fruit, which I taste that a lot, and organic cinnamon bark and organic orange peel. I definitely taste the last three the most, which is interesting because it's the last three ingredients on here. But yeah, on top of that with the ginger flavor. Making sure it's nothing important. Yeah, no, everything's good. But yeah, so I plan on trying to get on every day, including Friday. Monday through Friday from now on, I plan on getting on. And doing, these shows throughout the week. And if you can't catch the live streams, I will always have the unedited playback on YouTube on my Polymathic Dad channel. And yeah, I will, as soon as I start posting the podcasts again, because I know audio is sometimes just better for people. As soon as I start posting the podcast again, I will also include that in my podcast postings. The only thing I'm actually undecided about that I will try to figure out more towards the end of this week, I think, is if I want it to be like a weekly topic or a daily topic, because I only have an hour or so every day. So there's different portions of, the hour or two that I do have. There's different portions of topics that I can do each and every day. And I wanted to try to make it in relation to Try Hard Tuesday, Whacked Out Wednesday, stuff like that. I want to keep my old themes still, even though we're not going to be like doing gaming as much. And there's going to be sometimes in between that, I'm just playing a game and that's it. If I feel like I need to take a step back, or if the community needs to take a step back for a day and just have fun and enjoy, I think that's very important. I forgot my stream avatars again. Damn. Every time I hop on here, I have to like figure out how to hotkey it to like my start, to kick that up. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that I'm planning on with the channel. I know we've been through a lot of changes, and we will go through a lot of changes as I hammer this out. But I really would like to take this to a good level, to a level to be helpful and to be informational for people. So the topics are going to include a lot of researched things, a lot of varying topics. I like feeling that hot rush down my throat, and it's just like going over, like, if you feel something like a sore spot in your throat or whatever, just the hot rush of tea going over it is like, in some ways it also feels to me like, yeah, burn out the bacteria or something. I don't know, but I know that's not entirely true, but sometimes that's how it feels. So I think that's going to be it for me for today. I appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out. I will be back tomorrow, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. This week, I'm not going to be so driven, probably. I'm going to be doing more of the conversational things and whatever, and then start on really doing the topic-based stuff next week. So feel free to come hang out. I'm going to really try. I'm going to really, really try to make it here by 9:45 because I want to get in as much time as I can beforehand. 9:30 is kind of pushing it sometimes, but 9:45 is like my goal, my absolute goal. So yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Thanks for coming to hang out, and anything you want to hit me up on. I'm most active on Discord, so please look up the Polymathics. Otherwise, it's in my about. Sorry, not my about, my commands. Right about there. And feel free to join in and hang out. You don't have to make yourself known, or you can. It doesn't matter. There's a music channel, a music request channel. There's a place to post up memes. There's a place for just general conversation topics. You're welcome to share anything that you think is informational or funny or whatever. Come and hang out. I'll see you guys there. Wow. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.